What I'm about to reveal isn't written in books, and it's never spoken aloud. Once you hear it, you'll understand why some men command respect effortlessly, while others are ignored, used, and discarded. The difference isn't luck, it's psychology. And I'm going to show you exactly how it works. There is a side of women most men will never see, a hidden psychology wrapped in smiles, laughter, and charm. If you try to name it, she will deny it. Not out of malice, but because once you understand it, she can no longer control you the same way again. Machiavelli recognized this centuries ago. True power does not belong to the man who gives the most or who tries the hardest. True power belongs to the man who refuses to play by her rules. This is the forbidden knowledge women never wanted men to uncover. And the moment you see it, nothing about them will ever look the same. The mask of power. Every woman wears a mask, not out of wickedness, but survival. Since the beginning of history, men have held physical strength. And when you cannot win through strength, you must win through strategy. For women, that strategy is the mask. Her words are not always her true thoughts. Her smile does not always mean happiness. Her laughter does not always mean amusement. Often these are signals, calculated to soften, influence, or redirect you. Think about it. How many times has she smiled at a man she secretly disrespects, nodded in agreement while rebelling silently, or softened her voice to calm you? This is not a weakness. It is a weapon. The mask is both shield and sword, protecting her while shaping the actions of those around her. The mask changes depending on her needs. Third, at times, it is innocent. Eyes whispering, "I would never hurt you." At times, admiration. "You are the strongest man I've ever met." At times, sorrow. Tears calling your protector instinct. Mistake the mask for truth, and you are trapped. You live inside her script, reacting to her performance rather than your own will. Machiavelli warned, appearances cannot be trusted. Women's performances are sharper, subtler, and more powerful than most men imagine. Awareness is the ultimate power. Recognize the mask, observe without reacting, and you regain control. The mask is strongest against those who bend emotionally. It falters against those who remain calm, observant, and deliberate. In the silent battlefield of influence, perception, and restraint are the true weapons. The paradox of the mask. Here lies the paradox. The mask is not always a lie. Sometimes she forgets she is wearing it. Sometimes she convinces herself of its truth. And whether she knows it or not, the mask gives her leverage. A quiet, invisible power that bends perception and shapes behavior without a single word of force. The mask is her strategy, her shield, her sword. It allows her to navigate a world built for strength she cannot always claim. Yet here is the forbidden truth most men will never admit. If you mistake the mask for reality, you will spend your life chasing illusions. You will never reach what is real. You will fall for softness that is performance, for humility that is tactical, for vulnerability that is selective. You will respond emotionally to what is meant to provoke, persuade, or test you. Most men never break through. They see a soft smile, a gentle tone, lowered eyes, and they call it love. They call it innocence. They mistake choreography for sincerity, script for substance. The mask, however, is more than a deception. It is a revelation for the one who can see it. The man who recognizes it does not react impulsively. He does not chase what is staged. He observes. He measures. And in that awareness, the mask loses its power over him. For the moment you see the performance clearly, it no longer controls you. It reveals her. It reveals not only her tactics, but her priorities, her fears, her desires, and the subtle ways she seeks influence. The mask becomes a map. It tells you what she values, what she fears being exposed, and what she is willing to manipulate to maintain control. And understanding this does not make you cynical. It makes you sovereign. You operate outside the script she has written for the unwary. You see the world as it is, not as it is presented. And here is the ultimate irony. Sometimes the mask becomes truth. Sometimes she begins to believe in it herself. She convinces herself of the innocence, the admiration, the sorrow she displays. And in that confusion, she gains even more leverage. For now, the mask is layered, a performance that even she cannot distinguish from reality. But the man who can see through these layers, who understands the strategy and the self-deception alike, steps into a realm where he cannot be misled. He is untouchable in a way few ever experience. This is the paradox. The mask can be both false and true, both protective and manipulative, both an illusion and a guide. Most men are trapped by it, enchanted and misled, believing they are engaging with reality, when in truth, they are responding to artifice. The man who masters the perception of the mask does not merely see, he understands. He does not merely observe, he acts with clarity, precision, and sovereignty. Because the moment you see through it, the mask no longer deceives you. It no longer controls your emotions, your reactions, or your decisions. It becomes transparent. It exposes her. And in that exposure, you gain power not by force, not by confrontation, but by awareness. Awareness is the ultimate weapon, the quiet tool of sovereignty, and the one thing that ensures you are never played, never bent, never owned. The nature of desire. Her desire is never what you think. Most men are raised to believe women only want safety, comfort, and security. Movies repeat it. Books repeat it. Women themselves repeat it. But history, nature, and Machiavelli's ruthless clarity reveal a darker truth. Desire is not born from safety. Desire is born from danger. Safety may calm her. Comfort may make her feel secure. Stability may give her peace. But peace does not make her pulse quicken. Comfort does not make her lose sleep thinking of you. Safety is what she accepts when there is nothing stronger to chase, nothing wilder to pursue. Desire only rises when she senses a man she cannot fully control. She may say she wants a nice guy, always listening, always agreeing, always attentive. She may even use him as a helper, a provider, a shoulder to lean on, but her eyes betray her true interest. They will always follow the man who refuses to kneel, the man who does not over-explain himself, the man who could walk away at any moment, and actually would. This man creates tension, and tension is the fire of attraction. Danger here is not cruelty, nor is it violence. Danger is the quiet, invisible message that says, I cannot be owned. It is unpredictability wrapped in calm. It is strength disguised as composure. And it is this danger, the subtle, untamed signal, that makes her restless, curious, alive. Look to history. Kings, warriors, conquerors. These men were not safe. They were unpredictable, unshakable, even ruthless. And yet, women risked everything to be near them. Not because they offered comfort, but because they awakened a desire for the untamed, the unbroken, the untouchable. Here lies the forbidden truth most men never grasp. Women may choose safety, but they do not crave it. Safety allows her to rest. Danger awakens her spirit. Safety calms her. Danger makes her pulse race. That is why the man who kneels disappears in her eyes. She may thank him, she may use him, but she will never chase him. The man who stands unshaken, who does not bend, who does not bow, even in the face of temptation or demand, he captures her imagination. He creates a tension her body and mind cannot resist, a silent pull that no comfort or gentleness can replicate. Machiavelli would whisper, if you want her loyalty, give her safety. But if you want her desire, give her danger. The test she hides. Here is a truth most men refuse to face. She will test you. Not once, not twice, but endlessly. This is no accident. It is her nature. It is how she measures reality. She tests you because she must know who you truly are. When comfort fades, when pressure builds, she needs to see whether the man before her is solid or merely another pretender. Words mean nothing to her. Promises mean nothing. She has seen men claim strength, loyalty, and love, only to collapse the moment they are challenged. She trusts only what you demonstrate, not what you declare. Her tests take countless forms. She may ignore your message just to see if you beg. She may tease or provoke to see if your composure breaks. She may fabricate an argument, pushing boundaries to observe your control. Sometimes she may even speak falsehoods, only to see how you react. Every test is a mirror, revealing the man beneath the mask. Fail a test, and consequences follow. Bend too quickly. Explain endlessly. Chase her approval like a lost child. She may stay, but something inside her shifts. Respect fades, and when respect dies, desire inevitably follows. Pass a test, not through shouting, arguing, or over-explaining, but by remaining calm, silent, unshaken. Everything changes. Attraction deepens, respect grows. Because now she sees something rare, a man who cannot be moved like all the others. He is stable in a world of chaos, firm when others falter. Understand this. Her attraction is tied to your resistance. The moment you break your frame, the moment you react emotionally, she sees weakness. And weakness, no matter how kind, gentle, or well-intentioned, is the death of desire. Her tests are not designed to destroy you. They are tools of revelation, much like fire tests gold. They expose authenticity versus pretense. Most men respond with anger, accusation, or defensiveness. But the man who understands smiles inwardly. He knows it is the law of nature, not personal attack. When you remain calm, when your silence speaks volumes, when you do not chase or explain yourself, she feels it. She feels that you are not desperate. She senses that you are unafraid to lose her. She recognizes your completeness, your wholeness with or without her. And it is this quiet, unshakable presence that ignites desire far more effectively than gifts, words, or endless effort ever could. Machiavelli would remind you, power is never proven in comfort. It is always proven in challenges. The fire reveals the metal. Pressure exposes the true form. With women, the challenge never ends. Every smile, every silence, every storm is a test. And if you can master it, if you can hold your frame when the pressure comes, you become two things at once: the man she cannot break and the man she cannot forget. The silent power of distance. Most men destroy their own value without ever realizing it. They smother women with constant attention. They call too often. They send endless messages. They cancel plans just to be available. They call this love. They call it loyalty. But the harsh truth is this: the more you give, the less it is worth. Human nature works in paradox. We do not crave what we already have in abundance. We crave what feels rare, what feels uncertain, what feels just out of reach. When something is always available, its value collapses. This law applies to everything: gold, art, power, and yes, desire. Machiavelli understood it centuries ago. People hunger most for what they cannot fully possess. And what is true for men is equally true for women. Absence creates hunger. Silence creates unease. Distance creates desire. When you are always there, she may feel safe, but she does not feel the tension that fuels attraction. Attraction lives in tension, in the gap between what she wants and what she cannot fully claim. That gap quickens her pulse. That gap keeps her awake at night, thinking of you. This does not mean cruelty or games. It does not mean manipulation. It means building a life so full, so strong, that you cannot drop everything for her at a moment's notice. It means your attention carries weight, and because it is not constant, it becomes valuable. Think of fire. A flame needs air to survive. Smother it with too much fuel and it dies. Feed it with the right balance of fuel and space and it grows stronger. Desire works the same way. Too much presence suffocates it. The right absence makes it burn hotter. Here is the forbidden truth. Women may ask for constant attention, but when you give it endlessly, their desire fades. They may never admit it, but their instincts know. What is always there becomes invisible. The wise man understands this. He does not rush to reply to every message. He does not abandon his own path to follow hers. He does not fear space. He knows that space pulls her closer. When you are silent, she wonders. When you are absent, she feels your presence more keenly. When you step back, her mind races forward to find you. Most men fear absence, believing it will make her forget. The opposite is true. Distance makes her remember. A woman cannot chase the man who is always in her hands, but she will chase the man she cannot fully hold. Absence is not weakness. Absence is power. The man who knows when to give and when to withhold never loses her. He makes her chase harder, crave more, and respect deeper. And when you master this balance, you understand the ultimate truth. Attention is not love. Attention is currency. Spend it carelessly, and it is worthless. Guard it with strength, and it becomes priceless. The fear she cannot escape. Most men believe a woman's deepest fear is being unloved. They are wrong. Her true hidden fear is not the absence of love. It is the absence of being seen. Love is everywhere. She can always find someone to admire her beauty, comfort her, or care for her. Love is common, predictable, replaceable. But to be truly seen by a man she cannot control, that is rare. That is what she craves. And because it is rare, the fear of losing it is profound, even if unspoken. Being ignored by a man she does not care about means nothing. But being ignored by the man she cannot bend, the man who refuses to kneel, this cuts deeper than rejection. It shakes her sense of power. It challenges her control. It forces her to confront a truth she cannot easily face, that her influence has limits, that she cannot compel him, that he exists outside her script. When you withdraw your attention, when you refuse to be dragged into her storms, when you do not rush to respond to every provocation, she feels a terror she cannot articulate. She feels invisible. Her strongest weapon, her emotions, fails to manipulate you. At that moment, the rules shifted. She becomes the one who chases. Most men collapse under this pressure. They pursue when she pulls away. They explain endlessly when accused. They comfort when she lashes out. And in doing so, they hand her power effortlessly. But the man who remains calm, silent, unshaken, refuses to bend. He turns the tables. Her chaos cannot touch him. Her storms leave no mark, and in that silence, her fear rises. But so does her desire. Understand this: your attention is her oxygen. Without it, her control begins to falter. The more she struggles to regain it, the more she invests, mentally, emotionally, unconsciously, in you. Her hunger grows, her curiosity sharpens, and her attraction deepens, not because of what you give, but because of what you withhold. This is not cruelty. It is balanced. Most men drown women in attention until it loses all value. The rare man steps back, and in doing so offers something far more potent than comfort: a mirror. A mirror that forces her to confront her own hunger, her fear, her need to be seen by a man she cannot command. That is why her deepest shadow is not betrayal, not abandonment, not deceit, but invisibility. To be unseen by the one man she truly desires is a fear she cannot escape, and a desire she cannot suppress. And the man who understands this wields a power far greater than any fleeting affection or hollow devotion. The power of presence tempered by absence, attention measured by restraint, and authority born of calm sovereignty. The game she hopes you never see. If men ever truly understood this psychology, the balance of power between men and women would change forever. Because here is the truth. Much of her behavior is not random. It is not driven purely by emotion. It is strategy. Mystery is her sharpest weapon. When you cannot see what she truly feels, you fill the gaps yourself. You project your own hopes, your own interpretations, and your own desires onto her. You convince yourself she is softer, purer, more loyal than she may be. You mistake her smile for devotion, her laughter for joy, her gentleness for surrender. Often, these are only masks, calculated performances designed to elicit a response, test a boundary, or bend your perception. If men could see behind these masks, the spell would break. The endless chasing would end. Tears, storms, games, and tests, none of them would hold the same power. Women know this. That is why they guard their mystery so fiercely. They do not want you to see how silence is used to make you insecure. They do not want you to notice how withdrawing attention makes you chase. They do not want you to realize how many storms are deliberate, orchestrated tests of your frame, patience, and self-possession. Because if men saw this clearly, the game would collapse. The centuries-old dance of men giving while women measure would end. The patterns, the subtle manipulations, the unspoken laws of attraction, all would lose their hold. Machiavelli warned, appearances will always be weapons, and those who cannot see beyond appearances will always be ruled by them. But now you see, and once you see, you cannot be blinded again. You understand the rules. You recognize the strategies. You perceive the difference between performance and truth, and in that awareness lies your advantage. You are no longer a pawn in her game. You are a player who moves deliberately, calmly, and with sovereignty over your own mind. The game continues, but its power over you has ended. The final law that makes you untouchable. Every man seeks love. Every man seeks loyalty. But most men lose both because they break the final law. They give everything too fast. They become predictable, and predictability kills desire. When she knows you will always forgive, always give, always stay, no matter what, she may feel safe, but safety is not attraction. Safety does not inspire craving. It does not spark longing. It does not create the tension that fuels desire. Instead, you must become unreadable, not by lying, not by pretending, but by living in a way where your mind, your emotions, your path are never hers to command. A man with depth, a man of silence, a man whose choices are his own, whose life is his own, whose presence cannot be assumed. Be kind, but never weak. Weakness is when kindness is used against you. Be present, but never desperate. Presence is strength, desperation is slavery. Love her deeply, but never abandon yourself. Because love that erases your identity is not love, it is surrender. The man who masters this becomes untouchable. He does not beg, he does not bend, he does not kneel, yet he is not cruel, bitter, or cold. He is strong but gentle, calm but commanding, loving but unshakable. That is true power, not control over her, but control over yourself. The man who rules himself cannot be ruled by anyone. He becomes a force of gravity in her world, unmovable, undeniable, unforgettable. Women do not truly want a man who hates them. They want a man who cannot be bent, a man who can love with fire but remain stone when storms rise. That man earns not only respect, but lasting desire. If you're still here, it means your mind is wired differently. You don't want comfort, you want power, and that makes you dangerous, in the best way. Comment ruthless clarity below if you're part of the few who choose strength over illusion. Most won't do it because most are already broken.